Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder-level powers, and much, much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoyed tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to youtube.com/@EriseGames or at twitch.tv/EriseGames. Alternatively, you can enjoy all our recorded sessions on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session. And without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. As the sun sets over LA and nightlife begins for the mortals, a van drives through the city into East LA. Inside, a number of keepsakes are safely tucked away, and a sword wrapped in cloth rests somewhat hidden out of sight under one of the benches. As the van begins to park at the parking lot to the Pack Haven, out of the van comes Abel, who makes his way to the elevator and climbs up to the top floor. The pack hears knocking at the door. Who answers?
If Jack is awake by the time he'd probably answer.
I would poke my head out too.
Then, Jack, you open the door to see Abel.
Good evening.
Long time no see.
I brought the stuff in my van.
Which stuff?
Well, you asked if I had found a sword.
I see. Good, good. Come on in. We've got up to a lot. Well, you were away.
Sure. Anyone else awake?
Probably everyone else at this point.
Well, then you can fill me in.
As you make your way inside, Abel, you see signs around the house that indicate that Serena has already gotten up, as well as at some point.
What are the signs?
Hmm?
What are these signs? An increased amount of plants around the house?
That plus a few bloodstains here and there. And at some point you do see Jasper as he carries some of his research papers. He's eyeing them over, flipping through the pages, and he carries them up the stairs. Not really realizing you're there at first.
For example, Jasper, come here if you might meet the last Pac-Man you haven't met yet.
Jasper stops, looks down. He seems to be somewhat annoyed, but goes down anyway. And who that might be? He looks to Abel, the only person he doesn't know.
That might be Abel.
Pleased to meet
Hello.
you.
It is good to meet you. Anyway, is he up to speed with everything, Jack, or not?
Oh, right. Sorry. Forgot that Jasper was actually with us in the forest.
Pleased to meet you again.
Pleased to meet you again, Abel.
You
Are you
see,
up to speed with everything that has happened recently? Has Jack told you?
Well, I'm sure you all can fill in the gaps.
Good. You can fill in the gaps, Jack. I need to take these papers to my room. I'll be back soon.
Sure.
He says as he turns around and heads towards his room.
you see, come out the room, and in her hands, she has a mortar and pestle, and she's mixing something up, which doesn't look really nice. It's like she waves to Abel and then continues after coming close to the basically going back to the plant, looking at weird, and then finishing up grinding the substance. After she finishes up, she adds a bit of her vitae and scoops out what looks to be a mix of dirt, grass, animal fur. Like there's things that you think there's even like maybe like some bird feathers or something like that. something weird. And then she ingested after sitting down on the sofa. I'm gonna attempt. Guess what? Eyes of the Forest, 10 miles. Miguel.
Um.
I'm gonna do the roll.
Okay. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
And
So
this is for which power?
Eyes of the Earth. So it's 10 miles, 1 hour.
Mm-hmm. One moment.
Everything going about.
You have this noted in your
Yeah,
sheet, right?
yeah.
Okay. Just needed to pull your sheet up. Okay. Okay. So, how many successes did you get?
2?
Okay. So, you close your eyes and you focus. And as you chant, getting yourself into the mindset you were taught by your mentor, you rest your hand on the dirt, and as you open your eyes
I
again,
ate it. I ate it. I ate it. You eat it.
okay, well, don't you have like a plant nearby?
That's not through a plant. You literally just a mixture of
Ah,
soil, earth, grass,
okay,
animal fur feathers,
okay. Well,
and your blood.
you allow your mind to relax, and as you open your eyes, the perspective you have of your surroundings is not from the point of view you had before. You look around, and you are seeing the inside of the apartment, but from a different angle. In fact, looking around, you eventually see yourself sitting and meditating.
To see in the apartment. I want to see how far it goes.
Okay. You focus once more, and as if you blinked and immediately teleported there, you feel the quality of the air change quite a bit. The apartment gets warmer, and you look around to see that you are now in a smaller apartment. You see a woman from the door of her bathroom that's slightly ajar. She seems to be brushing her teeth, getting ready to go to bed. Looking.
Outside.
Hmm?
Iris just like is annoyed because she wants to see outside. There's palm trees. There's everything.
Yeah.
Animals and birds are also.
But you're
like,
slowly reaching out. You're slowly reaching out, expanding. If you want to go out further, then you meditate once more. And again, with a blink of your eyes, you are now at ground level. Now, you get a bit of vertigo as you reach this distance. So you feel that you're far away from your origin point. But you see below you, first of all, you feel much taller than you would otherwise. And you see below you the streets, cars still running through them occasionally, people still walking through the streets occasionally, and only a few nightclubs in the distance still active. You hear the music, but you don't really recognize the rhythm per se. It feels a bit alien. You recognize its music, but you don't recognize You don't feel the rhythm. You can't quite spot it. So the perspective is quite different, but
It's still.
Hmm?
It's still not like the book described.
yeah, but
I'm
this
supposed
is
to
how
be
I describe it.
aware of. No, it's I mean Iris knows it's not how the book describes. She's supposed to be able to perceive everything within 10 miles of her haven.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still spot by spot.
Well, yes.
So she's going to attempt to get the correct way. And that's what she's going to be spending an hour to while the rest do whatever they do.
Okay.
AKA Miguel, it's not
I'll handle it.
astral projection.
I'll handle it. I'll handle it. So, you begin to research. As for the rest of the group, what do you do?
I'll fill Abel on what has been going on. Leaving some details out.
Okay.
And I want to show Jack the sword, the saber I found,
Mm-hmm.
and see what ideas he has regarding this.
Let me
Okay.
see.
So, Abel brings up what looks like the curved shape of a sword wrapped in cloth. And Abel, would you care to describe the saber itself, according to what I've given you?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Mhm.
Yeah, wrong channel.
Happens to
So it seems to be a saber with a long blade, which is somewhat well cursed in its design. So it looks extremely deadly. Has a somewhat of a V-shaped guard and a bone fragment set in its pommel.
Hmm.
And I described that I have a somewhat of a I feel somewhat of a weird connection when I try to wield it, and this is why I am showing it to Jack.
Do I feel anything magical from it?
Hmm.
Like anything?
Not
that magic.
Cainite.
No Cainites and no ghosts.
No
So fairies,
Cainites and no
mages,
ghosts.
and like no true mages. I'm fine.
No.
Okay. I'll try to see what the weird feeling Abel gets when he tries to wield it.
So, you hold the sword?
Mm-hmm.
As you touch it, the object itself feels like it's not entirely here. As if you feel sort of uneasy as you pick it up. Almost as if almost as if holding a weapon was used to murder someone at some point. Only you know nothing about this one.
I held Kian's axe.
Hmm?
I held Kian's axe, so
Mhm.
probably like the same vibe.
Similar. This one feels a bit fainter, however.
Oh. Can I try and remember if I read anything about it? Or like
About this
just
specific one?
make an educate no, like in general. Or like just an educated guess that it's probably been used.
You can roll to see if you've read anything about events like this. The difficulty is very high, though, because it's a very
Okay,
specific type of thing.
And
It would be int academics.
okay. Let's see.
Yeah, no.
Mm.
So you don't quite know.
Well, it feels kind of like Kian's axe, but not as strong. So probably been used in one too many battle.
But in essence, it doesn't feel, evil or some, it doesn't actively feel like I'm trying to use something that makes me feel bad. That's a
Can be
question
just
to the
like
storyteller.
it can be a similar type of item like Kian's axe. So just like
In any case, we would
many
probably
tools.
need to visit your family.
My family.
You're sort of a cousin who might
Oh,
know
she
more.
doesn't like me very much,
Then I'll go
but
alone.
she teaches Jasper, so you might
As
attend.
as as you say Jasper names, he starts coming back. So I go out, turn my back towards you, and you're already bad talking about me, Jack. Disappointed.
Jasper, as you walk into the room, immediately you feel sort of this reverberation coming from Jack's direction.
Oh right.
Hmm.
Forgot that. Yeah. Mind taking a look?
What exactly?
The
He
saber.
says, kind of try to look into you, see what is giving out his that energy, that reverberation from Jack.
Well, now that he's holding it up, you realize that these echoes are not coming from Jack himself. They're coming from the sword he's holding.
Interesting. Where did you get that, Jack? He says, coming closer to the sword.
From a store I own, but it's Abel's actually.
Very interesting. Though, I never quite seen such a item that reverberates echoes like that. Would you mind me taking a look, Abel?
Of course not. I would prefer to know more about this weapon.
While you are at it,
And
Jack will go and retrieve the sword, the Amadeus's cane.
Carefully, I would assume.
Yes. The lesson has been learned.
just Jasper holds out the sword. And what can he sense just from holding it?
So whatever this thing is, it is definitely connected to the Shadowlands somehow. You can make a perception awareness roll to see how, like, in what way that connection is manifesting right now, if you can sense the type of manifestation. Keep in mind, your Auspex difficulty bonus does not apply here because it's the only reason why you can even detect it in the first place. And that would be
If it's the
one success.
One.
So you sense that if you look into the Shadowlands, you might get something that you wouldn't expect from most objects. And as you blink and peer into the Shadowlands, you notice that the sword, right as your vision shifts between one plane to the other, the blade almost seems to get brighter in a very odd manner. You turn the blade, and it seems to almost glisten in the Shadowlands. It feels solid in the Shadowlands, in fact.
Interesting. I never expected such an item. Never seen one before. Huh. Where did this Abel?
Excuse me, I couldn't quite hear you there.
Where did you find this blade?
Oh, it was just among the curios that we acquired when Jack took over Delmont's shop.
This is a
I just-
great find. It's not in normal blade. It's somehow connected to the Shadowlands. And if anything else, it seems to be more proper in the Shadowlands than in the Scanlands.
Okay, so that would that possibly mean that if we need to face somebody in the Shadowlands again, it would be of great asset there?
Not sure yet. One would have to test it to find out. But I could check something out. And I would like to use Spirit's Touch on that sword.
All right. You may roll for it. In the meantime, what is Larry doing?
Larry is chilling with his pet crow.
Okay.
Not really much to do for him at the start of the night.
Okay.
I would probably come out to greet Abel as well. Hey there, Ren guy.
Hello, Larry. How is the night?
Well, it just has started.
Does he looked, a bit scuffed? Or I overheard that he might have taken some damage, or is he all healed now?
We
Well,
can't hear you, Miguel. Oh, we can.
So, Larry, did you heal all of the ag?
Yeah.
Okay. Larry looks no worse for wear, though he does seem a bit more sheepish than his usual self, if only slightly.
Well, I hope nothing bad has happened to you?
Larry sort of rolls his eyes to the ceiling.
It probably have been fixed by now, right?
I
yes.
wouldn't call it bad. So I'm doing alright. What about you? Haven't seen you in a while.
I was taking a sabbatical, I guess.
Hmm.
What? Okay.
Jasper, as you focus on the sword and you use Spirit's touch on it, you feel a very strong emotion connected to it. It feels almost like a mix of anger and fear. You see many faces that all sort of blur together, but eventually the final appearance you see is that of a man with a very large scar over his eye. A very hate-filled look in his face, with his very bright blue eyes, very pale skin, and what looks like grayish blonde hair tied in a ponytail. And as you see this face, for a split second, you see the man screaming in agony as he's enveloped in fire. And then you break free from the vision.
I will say, due to the imagery of the fire, Jasper will come back, letting go of the sword as it hits the ground. He composes himself once again. Well,
Same
that
much.
was surely intense. Would I know this person? Would I try to know?
Definitely not, given the fact that you spent so long in the Shadowlands.
Well, I see some things. One in particular, one filled with hate. Though I cannot say I know this person. Perhaps one of you would know, if you wish to
Depends
see.
who you've seen.
Would you describe?
Just someone pale with blondish hair, a scar over their face on, was it the right side you said, Miguel? Right? Or left?
Over the left eye, I think. Yeah.
A
Yep.
scar over the left eye. And he had very intense blue eyes.
Hmm.
I mean,
It
Try
does sound
that.
familiar.
Because Serena does hear everything in the house. Because the visions are without sound. He's like,
Apologies, I got the eye wrong. It's the right eye.
he's like,
Oh, it's so
that
right
sounds,
eye.
that sounds like Rourke. That sounds
Yes.
like Rourke.
Yes. Jasper, real quick.
Actually, she just she gets up of the sofa, looks to Jasper. Can I Can you think of Rourke?
I can.
Well,
I can
no,
think about it in
no,
details.
not that. She looks to Jasper like, please think about what you saw. I'm just going to take a quick peek.
Sure. Jasper starts remembering the face.
Is
Yeah.
it Rourke?
Right
And
before
you
the fire,
also
so it doesn't.
Yeah.
okay. You also feel the pressure in the back of your mind. I'm assuming you don't resist.
No.
Okay. Serena, the face you see is not that of Ruark. It's
Oh,
a
really?
different person.
Okay.
In fact, they look very much alive. You also notice a very distinct difference from Ruark's face. This man does not have a beard. He's very clean shaven.
Younger Rourke.
No, looks about the same age. If not like physically older, but he looks alive.
And you got nothing else from the vision?
No. I mean, there were some other faces, but they were kind of mixed and mashed together, if you wish to see.
I mean, you could.
And Jasper would remember those faces as well. To show Serena.
Okay. In showing those faces, none of those faces are actually recognizable per se. Like you can't see distinct people within those faces. It's almost like flashing expressions. One thing you do notice, however, is that even though the scar on his eye is not present in all of them, in fact, in most of them it's not, other scars are present in different faces. The general bone structure of the face, the general look of the face is not the same, but it's very similar.
So what you're saying is, it's the same person with different faces?
No, not quite.
You're gonna... Whatever Iris gets, can you explain it? Because, like, my stomach is hurting. I can't think too much.
I've explained it as best I could.
Okay.
Could it perhaps be same lineage of people, descendants?
Maybe. Well,
Perhaps I should show this
Iris
to
gives him back the sword and looks to Jack and says, it was not Ruark. Okay, I'm going to go back to meditate for a bit.
Sure.
I'm actually going to be right back. You can continue playing.
I am going to take the sword from you for a while, Abel. Should I consult Freya to see what the sword is actually capable of, Jack?
Sure.
If you can make sure she's not taking it away from you.
Well, he wouldn't do that now, would he?
Well, just right now, I've got just another sword for you to study if you wanna. And I give the. I show the cane of Amadeus. If you don't mind, can you just touch it the slightest bit with your finger?
Sure. And Jasper just slightly grazes with one of his fingers the cane.
Roll stamina.
Okay.
Me or
You.
Jack?
You see that Jack holds this sword with like as much close protection as he can.
Well, this is gonna hurt. Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Okay. You take 1 lethal as brushing your finger against the handle. You immediately feel this searing pain, almost as if you just touched a white hot metal bar, and you pull your hand away, seeing a bit of smoke rise from your fingertips.
Mother.
Yes, almost
That
burned
was-
my hand off as well. Yeah, you see, it's protected against, as Freya put it, a type of mentality. We're trying to figure out which.
God, you could have at least warned me ahead about the pain. Jasper says as he
fair.
shakes his hands and heals off from the damage. Anyway. Yeah, about the sword again. I'll take care to not let Freya get it.
Good.
And please do not test me like a live subject against things that could possibly harm me, Jack.
If I wanted to really harm you,
But I guess
I told you to hold it like a motherfucker.
this counts as us getting even, so to speak, from that other test we did.
Or could have been actually worse. Up to the point of burning your hand off, so. And you could have left me permanently deaf, so. Still.
Jasper, as you speak with Jack, you know, he sort of turns. There's like more light from the room shining on him, and the days before, he actually looked very, very low humanity. He looked like he was struggling with his morality. Today, he looks like he went over the edge, but he seems very rational. He looks like he went into Waysale. He looks like you'd expect a wild vampire to look like. But he
Who looks like
mentally seems fine.
Who looks like that?
Jack.
Jasper takes some notes.
Would Iris have seen it when
Pretty
she
sane and
went?
fine, then there's
went-
nothing.
Would Iris have seen it when she went out, like, out of her?
Meditation.
Well, not
Yeah,
right
and then-
now because you didn't spend much time interacting with Jack, and you already had made a mental note that he was, low on humanity, so you didn't notice the difference yet. But if someone, mentions it, you'll hear it.
Abel would have seen it too.
Yeah, how does he look like to me?
Oh, to you, he looks very low on humanity, but you wouldn't be able to quite tell how far. But very, very low.
You alright, Jack?
Actually, fucking awesome.
You seem a bit
Oh,
feral.
that. Nah. I'm really fine.
At this, Serena would probably just like open her eyes because she remembered he was low on humanity. So just like, but also knew that he was studying under Vicus. And she just like look at him for a bit. What does she notice?
He looks like a vampire on Waste Hill right now. He looks like he's gone physically. Mentally he seems, you know, he seems to have a grip of his faculties.
Congratulations, Jack.
Thanks.
Do study a bit more. You're still
I know.
poorly in control.
Not much worse in, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Well, yes, not much worse than what you were before. But
worse
not like
nonetheless.
you were doing really great before either.
Yes.
And then Serena closes her eyes and goes back like, like, even like does the mudras with her hands, crosses her legs and closes her eyes to just scan the area.
Jack, your phone buzzes, and checking it, you see you have a text from Waylon.
What does he want?
All the text has is an address within East LA and the word now.
Grandpa wants to see me. I'll be back in like an hour.
Great. Then could you also leave me off at Freya's, since I'm not used to driving these newer model cars.
Well, since we only can read her books while we are there, someone has to read them too.
Sure.
Serena, wanna read some book
them
tonight?
for you.
Oh.
Serena opens her eyes. Are you suggesting we spend our night read? Look, if I go there, I just go there to pick up a few books. Out of character, I'm not spending an entire session reading books.
Yes. Jasper, let's just reschedule for not tonight, because if we'll need you,
Alright.
we wouldn't really be able to.
Serena.
You can
I
go
guess
to
I'll-
Grandpa with me.
Serena.
If you wish the company.
Yes?
Your phone buzzes, and you get a text from Cecil saying that work on the tower is progressing, but he may need some assistance at some point tonight, and he will keep you posted.
Okay. Like, Iris sends a response. Just let me know when to come. I'll be over.
Whoever wants to go to my grandpa, you're hereby officially invited.
To your grandpa?
I'll pass.
Not my biological
Serena,
grandpa.
Yes.
before you go back to your whatever you're doing exactly, I need some time with your goal to ask some questions.
My goal. Which one?
The one that almost died.
Well, what about do you need to ask questions?
Uh,
Why do you
I'm
need
just
to?
trying to figure out.
What are you trying to figure out?
Just some information about, you know, my new friend.
Your new
that has
friend.
just hatched from well,
What?
your old places go.
What?
I have recently acquired a wraith to work under me,
Ah, I
and
see.
he is one of the ones that died, and I just want some information about him to help him out.
I see. I see. I see. I'll text him. Say that. You want to have a chat?
Also, since everyone is here, there is a wedding band in my room. Under no circumstances do you sell it or harm it in any way, please.
Why would we want to harm a wedding band? To ring.
You know that it's against Code of Milan to, I don't know, meddle with your personal stuff.
I mean, I don't know. Also, like,
I
look,
know.
it's not the One Ring, is it?
If it's a wedding band, it's not the One Ring.
Well, I know, but like, if it's not the One Ring
No,
that
it
needs to
is
be
not.
destroyed in mortar, then look, do with your race fetters
No,
what you
but
want to do.
Who's up to go to my
no,
grandpa?
but I'm just.
Because
I'll
I
go.
feel the shitstorm coming.
I'll go.
I'll
Well,
go with
all
you
right,
as well.
I'll come
I'll-
with you, but I'm sure your grandpa will think that I'm a bad influence on you.
Well, just as I am. Like, I'm
Just
sure.
as Vicus is, but we don't give a fuck.
I'm sure your grandpa will also think that a Milkaven Pack Priest is a bad influence on you. But hey, this Milkaven Pack Priest can probably, depending on his rank and Sabbat, approve or not approve monomacy.
Yes.
A non-lethal one.
Well, it's probably gonna be the Court of Shadows. We do tend to do a bit differently. But anyway, let's go. Jasper, Larry.
Do you need my help?
If you wanna see some drama tonight, I can. I may be not able to feel all the drama in my body.
Well, why not? Gotta grab those bones.
Don't overdo it though. And yeah, I'll tell Larry the address and probably like one building over if it's a private house, and go to the parking lot with the others.
Jack, by the way, do you need me to catalog the rest of the items?
Honestly, up to you. Wouldn't mind the help.
I do like the curios, so I don't mind.
Very well.
All right. As the five of you, or the four of you, descend into the parking lot and Larry takes off from the roof, you all get into a car and begin making your way through East LA. As you approach the address, the building seems to be this. It's a house, but it's a very, very large house. Feels like something used for summer vacations rather than day-to-day living. You park the car, and as Larry makes his way as close as possible without being seen to the entrance, the five of you are in front of the building. Do you enter?
I do.
Okay. And without hesitation, Jack, you push the door open and walk into the building. As you enter, you notice that you're in this large, fairly well decorated living room, but all the lights are off. The room is basically It's just not pitch black because of the windows and the open door.
Aspect should help with that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm assuming that it's still visible enough for you to see.
Yeah.
Just dark.
Yeah. You wanted to see me?
As you speak, you hear footsteps in the house. And as the footsteps begin to hurry in your direction, not running, but walking with purpose in your direction, out of the shadows emerges Waylon, looking in one of his moods that you recognize as the slap the grandchild around until he feels better type of mood. He approaches you with this scowl on his face, his eyes almost wide open, and he just says, "Where is she?
No idea.
What the fuck did you do?"
There, I have an idea, but should I tell you? Should I not?
"It's my child." He basically grabs your collar and pulls you close and says, "Where the fuck is she?"
Told you. No idea.
"You're messing with shit you don't quite know how to fight. Okay? So you better start talking."
Why should I?
He eyes the pack that enters the room behind you and sort of tossing you back.
I do have a question when he does that. Does Jack seem worried?
Not really.
Okay,
He
so
seems-
Jasper will just stand by.
He seems slightly annoyed.
As Wayland eyes the group behind you, Jack, he then turns to you again, and with sort of like a pushing motion, he lets you go and says, "You think bringing some fucking muscle with you is gonna help you, you little shit?"
Oh my god, need I remind you that we, the Lasombra, have 2 fucking institutions to fix it up. We have fucking Court of Shadows, and we have Monomacy as a sect. Think for once, okay? He'll just pull his tie off and throw it on the ground. So, what is the problem here?
Leans against the wall.
Um,
Her like pretend eyes lit up. She's just like smirking and watching it. She's like, "Let's go, let's go." Code of Milan fucking slap down.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it shall commence.
So as you essentially stand up to Waylon, Waylon seems a bit taken aback by the situation. And as he sort of processes the situation in his mind, the room slowly grows just a slight bit darker. And Waylon looks at you.
The fuck it will, because I can counter this shit.
Yeah, roll for countering then.
What do I roll?
Usually your obtention powers are occult and...
Depends, like, second dot is no roll. Oh, or is. But like for... let me
I know
check.
your first
Let me just
one
check.
has no rule.
First one is no roll. Second one is manipulation occult.
Let's say
Third
manipulation
one-
occult.
And the third one to also manipulation occult.
Yeah, let's say it's manipulation occult.
Okay. That'd be 8 dice. Let's see. Not bad.
Okay. So You don't quite manage to
Mhm.
completely nullify it, even though, and this is a bit background knowledge, you actually have more dice than him. The shadows don't darken as much as he was expecting, and by his expression, he notices this, and he just says, "Listen here.
I'm listening.
You either killed her or took her away from me. Either of these options will result in your eventual death. So you start either talking or giving her back."
Because of what? Because you think she's your possession.
Because
You
I
own her.
slapped some sense into her, and I'm gonna do the same to you.
You know, that's one good thing that my sire has some Italian blood. She taught me a bit of Italian, which I don't know if she taught you, but you should recognize the first three words. Codice di Milano. Sounds familiar, right? Because according to Code of Milan, most importantly, the 10 and 11, the spirit of freedom shall be the fundamental principle of the sect, and all Sabbat shall expect and demand freedom from their leaders. Which, you know, since I'm true Sabbat, she is also a true Sabbat, which implies that she's free to do as she will. Isn't that right? I look at Serena.
Absolutely right.
Jack,
Yes.
true Sabbat my ass. Both you and her have just been disappointments every time you entered this fucking existence. Now, give her back.
True Sabbat your ass. Serena, would you remind me of the Tenet 7 of Code of Milan? Oh no, wait. Those who are not honorable under this code will be considered less than equal and therefore unworthy of assistance. Should I continue? We are not your property.
Hey,
We are your bloodline.
Jack, I'm sorry. You forgot to mention tenet number 5. All Sabbat shall treat their peers, aka other true Sabbat, fairly and equally, upholding the strength and unity of Sabbat. So, that is also part of the honorable part, you know? So.
Yeah. So, we are not really your property. We are your bloodline. But our bloodline has a history of child on sire violence.
He seems to look you dead in the eyes and be weighing his options. And once in a while, his eyes dart to the group and then back to you. Then he says, "The rest of you get out."
So. Well, you seem to be threatening somebody from my pack. It might be a violation of the code. Might require reporting. Either way, we do need to protect one another. Because, you know, the good of the sect comes before our personal needs. Tenet number 6. I'll go and leave Jackson, so.
"I'll see you later, Jack. You best watch over your shoulder." And Waylon basically walks out unless he's stopped.
Nope.
When he leaves, Serena looks to him Jack, tenant number 16. Addended to the Code of Milan. Also back shall... number 14 first. Right to monitor behavior and activities of fellow sect members in order to maintain freedom and security.
Nice.
And 16. Act against members who use their power against the Sabbat. But this is also your family, so I'm sure you'll deal.
I will.
And then when they leave, she at least like looks to Jack and is like, look, at least your grandpa isn't like, I don't know, like one of the inner council members of the Camarilla.
The fuck?
Grandpa, great grandma, or great grandma or something. Something like that.
Okay. For fuck's sake, woman.
What?
That's fucking hilarious.
I know, right?
Well, my great-great-grand was killed by Mancada. Wait, let me recall. Great-grand, yeah.
I still feel slightly annoyed that he tried to use something, probably obtain operation on us.
No, he was trying to intimidate me with it. You know, it can be scary to some.
Serena looks at Jack. Did you eat your sire? Like as they're already outside the building, did you eat your sire or something?
Fuck no.
I see.
First, when they get in the car, he'd like tap into the navigation, like, some address in Madrid.
Serena laughs. Wait.
Yep.
Ah, that's like a good location, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
She looks
She's in
like.
good
I
hands.
know you guys don't reflect like on, in mirrors,
Yep.
but what about photos and cameras which don't have a mirror inside, like a phone?
Depends.
Because
Like,
there's no mirrors
I know
there.
I was glitchy when Larry called me on video call, but probably the reason was because I could, like, when you call someone on video call, you can see your part as well.
I
You can
mean,
take
again,
you can take a photo
Serena like points her camera at Jack.
and fucking caught in 4K.
Yeah.
Just a second.
So you point your camera towards Jack, and as the camera basically flashes on, it almost feels like your phone starts basically has a very severe delay, as if the frame rate drops severely, and no images you can get of Jack are solid, really. As soon as the camera turns and Jack gets out of the picture, it returns to normal. As soon as Jack comes back, it's glitched to hell. And he almost looks like a black cutout of the image.
I need to step away for a second.
Mhm.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Jack, as you begin to make your way to the car, after all of this conversation takes place, you eventually feel your phone buzzing again. And looking, you seem to be getting a call from a number you don't recognize.
Is it from USA?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll pick up.
You pick it up, and you hear Victoria's voice from the other end. Jack.
Greetings. Yes.
Evening. I just received a call from Waylon. Can I ask you to come to my office, please?
I'm with my pack right now. Will be okay.
That is fine. The important thing is that both of you are here so I can settle the matter.
Very well. I'll be there in short. I'll message Larry, Victoria's office.
Okay, I'm back.
We're going to Victoria.
We're going to Victoria right now? Why?
Yes, because of Island.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna see.
Wait, did she call or something?
Yes, just right now.
Fine.
Did you fell to your hive mind again?
What?
I'm kidding.
I'm just gonna message Cecil that we're going to Victoria because Jack's grandpa is acting up and has dementia.
Oh yes. The discipline you grow after being a cunt for 300 years.
Question: who is Victoria?
Oh, the Archbishop. I hope you know how to address him properly.
It's been a while, but I guess I'll just follow your lead.
Address her your
You
Excellency.
address as Your Excellency.
But it's more about me, so you're probably not gonna talk much. Let's go.
So, as you enter the vehicle and begin to drive there, Larry making his way through the skies, you eventually reach the neighborhood where you find a spot to park. As you exit the car, a few clearly armed gang members seem to eye you and just nod towards your direction, and seem to keep watch over your car. You walk through the streets until you reach the small quote-unquote office that Victoria uses. You enter the building, and inside you see Victoria sitting on a very large, almost throne-like seat, writing something on a sheet of paper that rests on a table next to her, and Waylon pacing around. And as he sees you enter the room, he just says, "Oh, and just as expected, with his fucking entourage."
Her Excellency said that my pack is not a problem.
Victoria finishes writing what she was focusing on, seems to dot the sentence, rests her pen next to it, and gets up from the chair. And after taking a few steps forward, says, "Jack," and scanning the pack, her eyes stop at Jasper. "Who's this?"
Your Excellency, this is a fellow member of True Sabbat who's been in another location. We've recently accepted after a little rescue mission.
Very good. What's your name?
Jasper kind of bows a little as he says, "My name is Jasper, Your Excellency."
Always good to meet another member of the Sword. I'm assuming he is a true member of the Sword?
Yes. We've we've checked in with his original city. He's been in travels. We do have some trainees.
I did get some reports of some new member joining your group. I was under the impression it was a woman, though.
Oh, that's she's still false Sabbat at the factory.
I see.
We're training her up. I'll bring her over when you at your convenience. She's a Zimidze.
Of course. Well, let's not waste any more time. We are here to put a rest to this petty rivalry that you've conjured up. So, make your case. Jack?
Well, I've been accused of doing something to my sire Liliana Moreno when I did absolutely no harm to her. I acted in the interest of the sect, in the interest of the clan. She's safe, and that is about as much as I can reveal at the moment.
Waylon, do you have anything to counter? Never mind, I've heard your side of the story. It seems pretty clear to me that these loyal members of the Sword have done nothing wrong. So, you will either drop the issue, Wayland, or be subject to our laws and consequences. Wayland eyes you specifically, Jack, with this now it's a rageful, scorn-filled look that you recognize as an incoming beating, or essentially an incoming barrage of abuse that now feels just impotent and almost beneath you. And as he looks that way and almost says something, you notice that Victoria seems to look into his mind very clearly as she seems to almost close her eyes and then look with a turn of her head with some disappointment. You were going to say something?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought I heard one of
No,
you.
sorry. I simply burped.
That's okay.
Serena disrespecting the court once again.
But as Victoria turns her head with disapproval, as you see the room begin to slowly darken, you simply see her open her mouth, and this almost slithering forked tongue slips out. And with one whip, almost too fast for your eye to catch, it returns into Victoria's mouth, and the shadows begin to return to normal in the room. And after a moment, you just see Waylon slowly turning to ashes as his head falls from his shoulders.
I see.
I don't tolerate calculated murder of loyal members of the sect.
Oh, I mean, then the punishment was quite apt, although perhaps his blood should have been reclaimed by Jack for better use.
That's true, but I'm fine with your judgment, Your Excellency.
By the way,
This is a fair point. I'll make sure to recompense you, Jack.
Very well.
I'd like to inform you of good news. Our Pax Lasombra Jack has recently been under tutelage and has successfully adopted a worthy path.
That indeed is good news.
Yes.
What motivated you to do such a thing?
Well, the fragility of humanity. And for the lack of actual descendant for the road of the abyss, I went with similar case and asked Priscus to teach me.
As Jack explains this, Victoria is very poignantly looking at Abel and Larry, making sure it's visible she's watching both of them.
Abel is also on some path.
Not
Technically.
visibly on a path.
Yes.
But
But Serena is not really visible in the past either.
Yeah.
Like, if we're
it's
judged
pretty
from the
fucking
face alone.
obvious. It's pretty
If we
fucking
judge
obvious.
from the face alone.
Yes. And as Jack, you mentioned the Priscus, Victoria's eyebrows raise and she turns to you again. Really?
Yes. They were really keen, especially knowing that my first cousin twice removed is the Archbishop of Madrid.
What an enviable mentorship.
I guess I was lucky to have a good mentor.
It's a good opportunity for you to put these lessons to good use and serve the sword.
Indeed.
So, unless you have other business to bring to me, I do have some filthy ashes to sweep from my apartments.
I'm sorry it came to that.
Maybe Jack would like to keep them in an urn.
I mean, you could
An
always
interesting keepsake.
you could always mail it to Liliana.
Well, the ashes are, after all, and Victoria looks to the ashes with a bit of a grin. They are, after all, your property.
Yeah, I suppose. Would I manage to quickly pick it up in some container?
Serena gets a.
If you
gets
didn't have one, Victoria would provide one.
Serena could also offer you a plastic bag from her bag. Which...
Which is more fitting for the situation.
Yes.
From
like,
taking
don't worry,
from
Victoria.
taking care of the Schlachter just takes a fucking doggy bag.
It's 5 liters of volume, okay?
Serena's like, no need, Your Excellency. We have a fitting container, and hands Jack some plastic bag.
Jasper just looking at the ashes like, I could have used that some time ago.
We need to
Well-
honor the elders.
The
In
really cocky elders we honor this way, brother.
yes, that is
Your
that is
Excellency,
the
do you
Sabbat
have
way.
Elder
you have, like,
blood
tools?
merits no respect from being elder.
Quite aptly said. Jack will probably ask to where's like a small closet with stuff to clean up, and quickly
I'll.
wipe the ashes into the back.
Oh. Yeah,
He's not above cleaning Archbishop's place for a bit.
the Archbishop simply points to one of the closets in the corner and says, I believe it's that one, though don't bother yourself with the cleanup. I have mortals to
Well-
handle that.
Since I'm the last of bloodline in the city,
Actually, you're not.
really,
You're the last one of your bloodline within the Sabbat. Of your clan, there are others.
yeah, I meant like of my direct bloodline,
Oh,
the Liliana, the Waylon.
I'm not aware of anyone else.
Plus, he started all this mess because of me. It's not a problem, Your Excellency. Jack will quickly wipe the floor of the ashes and drop him in the back.
Oh, if that's all we needed to handle, I do have some other business to attend to.
Wait, okay, now it works.
I bid you the best.
Good
of
night,
evenings,
Your Excellency.
And
Night.
Victoria simply waits for you to leave the apartments.
Relief.
Leave.
Okay. And as you begin to make your way to the cars, you notice that the same gang members that were watching your car, one of them nods to you, and they begin making their way out. One of them seems to be carrying, or at least dragging along, an unconscious guy, and you do notice that near your car, while there's no blood on your car, there is a small smudge of blood right next to the driver's door.
People are dumb sometimes.
As Serena gets back into the driver's seat, she looks at Jack. So you're gonna mail it to Liliana?
Yes. We can send it to be made into a diamond.
I mean, it's not gonna become a large one. It's gonna be the tiniest artificial diamond on the planet.
Me. Question, Miguel. Because he was feeling very much strong emotions, is there a chance he could become a wraith?
Is there a chance? Yes. Hard to say what the fetter would be, and hard to say how good of a chance.
Now I have to.
Well, Jack,
Yes.
there is a small chance that Waylon could become a wraith.
Okay.
I could keep an eye out for it. And maybe I could have him serve you if you desire. Wouldn't
That would be
fun?
hilarious. Let's go for that.
By the way, that mansion in which we met Wayland,
If it was his, it's now mine.
that's what I'm meaning. Like if it was his, can we make it ours?
Yes. Leo probably knew some bits of stuff about like Valence and Liliana's things.
I could take inventory of the place if you want. It's not like I'm doing much.
There could be
Well,
both if it's
best he
hit.
could give me was more obteniberation. But
There could be some books about the best mysticism there.
you sly devil.
Hmm. Come on, this is a Sabbat way.
Indeed. Well, if we have a bit of time, we can go rummage Grandpa's house.
All right. And that is where we'll take a short break. We'll be back very soon. See you soon.